Excuse me. So let's get right to it. So it's loading. Malio says on the countdown to Wizardry birthday stream, I should turn on notifications so I actually get to see the content which smaller pages I follow post. You should do that. Hope says GG. Mark Root, I don't know. Call me Gandalf because I'm about to be a wizard. Exactly. I'm a wizard now. I forgot. Thanks for those comments, guys. So Stock Shanette says on the same video, welcome to the Brotherhood. It's nice. It's a nice club to be a part of. Nice benefits. So Xenochrist Blackout says, now let me see you cast Electric Fireball. Well, in any case, happy birthday, bro. It's better to live a life in happy solitude than to live a life forever chasing chains and servitude. That's absolutely true. Oh, man. Yeah, I got to make a episode of the Nightwalk vlog talking about solitude. I've been meaning to do that for a while because I think, to me, solitude is something that's very valuable. I love people. I absolutely love people. Never get it twisted. I love people. Like, even like the little interactions that I have with the people in my community every now and then. I savor those moments. But damn, I need solitude as much as I need people. For real, man. And so Satori Blue says on the Chad Marco Perfect song, damn, how have I not heard this one before? This is good. That's a really good song. If you haven't heard Perfect, that is a good hype. One of my best Dragon Ball Z songs. I love making Dragon Ball Z anime songs. One of my best though. So on the No Approach episode of the Botcast, haha, where Story Mark says, that was a solid rant against code approaching. It matches all my thoughts exactly. Funny thing is that my ex-girlfriend was the one who approached me and made it obvious she wanted to date me. Sounds like you've at least had one or two similar experiences. I think the days of code approaching are mostly over anyway, though I guess there'd be similar rules in dating apps. Men always message first, girls refuse to message first. Yeah, I've had a few experiences of like girls coming on to me heavy first. We all know about the infamous slutty cashier girl that was like a 5 or a 4 barely. And there was one girl at work who asked me, what did she say? I think she asked if I had a girlfriend. So you know what that means, right? But she was, whoa, no way, right? Typically when girls would approach me, or at least make it abundantly clear that they were interested, they were always just not attractive to me, so it never panned out. The only one that was even fuckable, she was a slut and she was dating my friend, and I don't play that shit because that's just asking for trouble. But I've never had a girl that I was attracted to approach me and make it clear that she liked me and whatnot, because I think that. And it's not even that I have high standards. I think just going back to the wheat waffles video, I would be more than satisfied with an average looking normie tier girl. And I think that's fair because that's like if you want to make the whole looks match argument, which I think is some cuck shit, but whatever, like that should be within my range of availability, right? But I think that nowadays, like Weak Waffles was saying, normie girls, they tend to have their eyes set on, the Chad prize. And so I've probably walked past or been around girls who might have looked at me and thought I was cute or whatever, but there was no way they were going to make it abundantly clear. Normie girls expect normie guys to do all the work. Normie girls only work for Chad. Sub 5 girls will work for normie guys. And so it really it plays so much into what Wheat Waffles was talking about. That's why I love that video, because I'll be considered normie tier. So I get sub 5 girls. It doesn't happen a lot, but whenever I have had a girl approach me and make it clear she liked me, they were always sub 5 for the most part. And then it's not to say that normie girls haven't found me attractive, but more than likely their expectation was for me to do the work. And then at the same time, they were probably working for Chads, more or less. So Hellbreaker says, literally missed some of the best content in the game for not listening to me. That was when I beat Bloodborne, and I wasn't expecting to beat it. But I don't know exactly what he said that would have helped me avoid it, though. Because the ending just kind of came out of nowhere. It's not like he told me don't fight the wheelchair guy when you get to this point in the game, right? I just knew that I needed some umbilical cords, but I didn't know that fight was going to be the end. Cause and I'm not gonna go on another Bloodborne rant. I like the game, but I think that the fact that ending came out of nowhere is like I really didn't see it coming, and it's a testament to how weak the story really is. At least as far as like how it tries too hard to be vague and confusing. Because I had no idea I was at the end of the game, because I felt like nothing of significance had been revealed up to that point. So 360 No Scope Johnson says on the comments, speaking of cars, I remember one of my first experiences as a new driver was being confused by how variable the steering angle was. Like, I turned the wheel, why am I still driving into the curb? Trick is you have to keep turning the wheel and fill out every corner. That was over a year ago. It's a long road to becoming a safe driver. It can be stressful, but you have to keep going. Leave the bus life for the subhuman. I did not hit the read more button. I'm sorry, but I've been driving for about 7 months now, and it's funny that he was talking about like turning, because that's something that I'm still working on. I mean, it's not like I'm terrible at it, but it's like one is like I'm trying to perfect like that perfect turn, right? I do okay, but I want that smooth like that, like between like the speed and the angle, I want that smooth turn, right? I'm working on that. I do okay though, but the one thing that does give me trouble is you have those roads that are like 3 lanes, and sometimes it's like you have to make a sharp turn into your lane because there'll be a car in the middle lane. And that's one, like, I haven't had any accidents right there yet, but that's one that I always have to stop and turn really slow. And sometimes I hit the curb because I'd rather hit the curb than to hit the car. So that's one of the turning maneuvers that I've been having issues with. But other than that, it's been going, like, my driving experiences have been smooth overall. The one thing I always remind myself is to not get too comfortable as far as like, getting lackadaisical with the fundamentals. And I always remind myself, don't dial it in. Look at driving like an art, almost like drawing, right? Like when you're drawing a picture, you have to be so precise with every little motion. You got to have the right paintbrush, the right colors, and then you got to draw neatly. That's how I look at driving. I look at driving like drawing or something. You got to do it with precision, focus, and you never dial it in. That I always say, never dial it in. Always focus. Always do your best. So Chris 1997 says on the code approaching women is a beta rule. He says code approaching isn't beta. Just because a dude is of higher status, aka a celebrity, athlete, TikToker, etc., does not mean he's an alpha. She may approach him, yeah, but then if he doesn't have certain characteristics, then she's still gonna see him as a lame dude. Your status, money, looks does not make you alpha or high value. Now, I definitely disagree with that last part. I think that being an alpha as a man, especially amongst human beings, can manifest itself in different ways. It's not always the biggest, toughest guy. Sometimes, like, there are different ways to achieve status and power in our society. And it's like, you could be the strongest guy in America, but at the same time, it could be a guy who, he could be some fat, out of shape dude or some skinny pencil neck dude who happens to be like the boss of a mob or something, right? And he can just have your ass killed, right? He could be weaker than a female physically, but just have the status and the rank to get you knocked off no matter how strong you are. So power amongst humans is very complex. It's not like with animals where typically the young, strong, vigorous buck, the youngest, strongest, vigorous buck is gonna be running shit, right? So status, money, and look, these things play a big role in making somebody out for a high value. But more specifically, I gotta reiterate, I never said code approaching is beta. Code approaching is a beta rule. It's not. I'm not saying that if you code approach, you're a beta. I'm saying it's a beta rule because alphas or even very attractive men, alphas, Chads, Tyrones will code approach. I'm saying that it's a beta rule. It's a rule that women invented for betas. It's a rule that only betas have to abide by because women are more than willing to approach and chase after men when they're attractive enough. So when I say, oh, it's a beta rule, I'm not saying like, oh, you if you do it, you're a beta. I'm just saying that it's a rule for beta. It's a rule for betas. But alphas, you can be alpha as fuck and code approach is not a bad thing. Like, and I don't want people to get that impression. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, you should never do it. I'm just saying that I'm challenging the idea of when people say it's a man's job. I'm saying that that's a beta that's a beta rule. That's like that. It goes back to the whole alpha fucks beta bucks. Women make rules for betas and break them for alphas. And I had the article right there for you guys, like showing exactly like perfect proof of what I was talking about. With like, what did that girl say? The whole article, she was talking about how, it should be a man's job to approach women. But at the very end, she said, but if the guy is attractive enough, there's no way we're going to let him just slide by. That's why I said it's a beta rule. If they have a high attraction for you, if they perceive you as being alpha and high value, it's a much higher chance that they're going to pursue you because they wouldn't have a chance otherwise. Women are then put in a situation as the average guy. I won't have a chance if I don't approach because I'm beta. Women, I won't have a chance if I don't approach because he already has girls that are more attractive than me approaching him. Same shit. It's a beta rule. So Ron Ramsey says, you're still the best, Chad. I love hearing your take on things. That was on the killers and gun control. Damn, what a title. Killers and gun control podcast snippet. Yeah, I'm not trying to act like I'm the authority on anything. I just really love to express myself. If you ever disagree or feel like I'm wrong on anything, let me know. I don't mind having discussions. But, the beautiful thing about the internet and having a platform is that, it gives you the opportunity to express yourself and share ideas and things like that. And I just noticed that people do tend to appreciate my takes on things. And I think it's because, I'm not the smartest, most knowledgeable guy in the world, but I think that I'm quite bright and reasonable, and I think I'm pretty good at connecting the dots and coming up with different like ideas and shit like that. And I'm more than willing to talk about things or have opinions that might rub people the wrong way. But thanks for that comment. So Jack Mack says, how do I meet voids if I don't harass them in public? That was on the Code Approaching Women is a Beta Rule video. You have dating apps and I don't like code approaching. I know I just said there's nothing wrong with it. There are a few things wrong with it, but it's not a bad thing. But I think the success rate is just way too low, and you're more likely to run into girls who just don't want to be bothered. I think that if you really want to meet women, what I would do is I really wouldn't do the whole code approach thing. I would either focus on online dating, social media, or I would do a 3-pronged attack, right? 1, social media dating apps. 2, clubs, or just generally places where women are going to be receptive to guys approaching them, right? Clubs, bars, etc. Places where, now this doesn't mean that you can't get rejected cold hard, right? But generally speaking, women understand, look, if I go to a club dressed like a streetwalker, as they tend to do, right, I'm probably going to get approached by guys. So I think you want to go to places where it's more reasonable for you to approach girls. Not the grocery store, not on the sidewalk, not at the park. You could do it at places where girls are expecting to be approached and are not going to feel like disrespected because you approach them. Because you can't, like, if you're a female in a club or a bar and you're dressed in sexy attire and you're upset because guys are trying to talk to you, you're out of your fucking mind. You're nuts. You're bipolar. Get help. And the third method, I would try to get involved in different activities, maybe like dance classes. That's one that I always hear is good for meeting women. You have dance classes, going to the gym, even though I wouldn't advise it, right? But it happens, right? Sometimes you just need to be in an environment around women, and then sometimes you'll end up where you're in situations where you're forced to interact, and then that allows you to break the ice naturally. I think that a big issue is that men and women have so much ego regarding who approaches who first. Sometimes you need to just be in a situation where that's not really a factor. Sometimes you need to be in a situation where you guys are kind of forced to interact with each other, or you kind of interact with each other through coincidence. And then nobody feels like I had to approach them first, or I had to code approach and put my ego on the line. Like I know one of my friends says that most of the girls he meets now are like at work, right? And it's not because of like code approaching or anything. It's just like somebody might say, "Oh, hey Dave, Sarah said that you got to bring this paper over to the building number 3. Okay. Oh yeah. Whoa. And then a conversation gets started, right? Or where's the copy machine? It's over here. Let me show it to you, right? So, that's what I would do. I would either focus on online dating, going to clubs or places where women would expect to be approached, or just broadening my horizons as far as like the activities I'm involved in. Again, dancing, going to the gym, rock climbing, hiking, running marathons, whatever the fuck. So Redo says, on killers and gun control, no father figure. That's another common thing that you see with these people though, right? A lot of times these killers, they don't have a strong connection with their father, or there's no father in the picture at all. The most common things you see is not a great relationship with their family, specifically their father, and they ain't getting no pussy. I'm just saying, right? And if they are getting pussy, it's definitely not quality pussy. This is what no pussy does to a nigga. Satori Blue says on the Thought I Put Up in the Gundam song, still a banger, one of your best hits for sure. I say top 3, love the energy, and that Aladdin bar is lethal. Blowing the perk got me so fucking gone that I thought I put up in that gun. I swear to God. Thanks for that comment though. Yusuke Urameshi says, love you, Chad. And then Jack Matt says, Chad only. Thanks for the love, guys. Is that the last one? Oh, no. So Vin says, man, it's already been 5 years. Every day that passes, I can feel the pressure of my future self looking back on the current me. Also, I don't know if my efforts to self-censor are enough for YouTube. Anyway, though, here's an attempt at the lyrics. And I didn't have to post all that. He did a pretty good job. And so Paulo Hernandez says on Death Field with No Girlfriend, the classic, punch my V card, things are still the same, antisocial, introverted, BS. Damn. How unfortunate. Obviously, I think that losing your virginity tends to have a different effect on guys, though. Some guys, like, it just turns them out, and then it's all about sex. And then some guys, it doesn't really have much of an effect. So I don't know. But I think a lot of it probably has to do with the quality. One thing guys won't tell you is I lost my virginity, but she was 250 pounds, right? That's going to be way different from losing your virginity to the girl you have a crush on, right? Like, come on. It's a difference. Did you lose your virginity to the fat, sloppy troll that liked you, or did you lose your virginity to the girl that you really had a high attraction to? I think that makes a world of difference. So